Hey, everybody. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see me or if that chopped off a bit of what I said, but I wanted to pop in and just welcome some people. I'm here about a minute early before this live stream starts. I am so thrilled to be back on YouTube, to be sharing the healing goods of what you need to know for your hormones, which is my jam. So with that said, if you have friends who want to come on in, tell them about it, text them, tell them, we'll keep your blood on YouTube. Melissa's doing a live stream. So today I wanted to really dive in and talk to you guys about my absolute must-have essential oils for your hormones. And here is the thing that I want you all to realize. The number one thing that people do, and when they message me and they reach out to me, is they'll say, hey, Melissa, I struggle with, I don't know, PCOS or fibroids or whatever the issue is. What supplement can I take for this? Now, if you've been following me for a while, you'll hear that I complain about people saying this. I don't necessarily blame them. It's just because we've been taught that you take a pill for your ill and that's it. But the reality is that I don't even believe in what is the root cause as much as I believe in what are the causative factors. So what I mean by that is that it's not just one thing that created the condition that you're struggling with. It's multiple stressors that have compounded together. And in this live stream, we're going to be talking about what those main stressors are, how we have to actually remove some of these stressors so the body works more efficiently so that your hormones can end up working more efficiently. You see, your sex hormones are really actually quite superficial. And I say that in the perspective of a lot of things affect them. So when women say to me, you know, what supplement can I take to boost progesterone? And what supplement can I take to lower my estrogen? I go, well, what's creating those issues to begin with? And in this live stream, the things that I'm actually detailing out, we are going to be covering digestive support. So anti-inflammatory gut support is one of the number one things we're going to be talking about. Number two, we're going to be chatting about liver detoxification, which, you know, is a part of your gut support. We're also going to be talking about stress support. Now, how many of you guys here, and please feel free to comment if you're listening in live, but how many of you guys here would say that you're stressed? I mean, everything is due yesterday. Your to-do list never just seems relentless. Now, if you're watching this live, the end of the year is approaching and it can be incredibly triggering and overwhelming for a lot of people. So in my opinion, we need to have stress support. And so we're going to talk about that. The other part, Melanie Bowen says she is stressed out. I don't blame you. Listen, I hear ya. So we're going to chat about what you can do, especially if you have anxiety. If you feel like racing brain, like overwhelm, obsession, you worry a lot. I know for me, when my mind goes crazy, it's usually in the evening. That's when, like, let me just recount the last 10 years of your life, right? Like anybody else here who relates to that, that's definitely me. The other thing we're going to chat about is one very important topic that never really gets spoken about in the hormonal arena, and that is lymphatic support. And yes, trust health. You're right. Sugar and gluten and wheat and preservatives and vegetable oils are toxic. Agreed. But it's not just that. So lymphatic support is another part. We don't hear very much about that. A lot of people don't understand how the lymphatic system works. But believe it or not, if you are struggling hormonally, you got to love your lymph. So we're going to chat about that. So these are all things that we're going to talk about. Now, before I go on, I do want to let you know that if you are digging this live stream, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up right now just to show me some love. I appreciate the comments rolling in as well. If there are any spam, we'll block them out. But I really appreciate the love. And if you are struggling, I want you to feel free to be able to comment along the way as well. Now, the thing that I also want to say is that I am not in the mindset of telling you that essential oils are the only ways to go. You want to absolutely make sure that you are eating well, that you're moving your body, that you're getting in your sleep. So these are things that you're going to hear me trickle in throughout this broadcast, because like you could be, you know, eating like crap and doing all these things, and then if you're expecting essential oils to be the magic bullet, you're going to be really disappointed. So I just want to be able to state that. It's kind of obvious, but I got to state it. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to talk about is anti-inflammatory gut support. But before we dive into that part, I really want to make sure that you guys know a little bit about who I am in case some of you guys are new to me. My name is Melissa Ramos. I'm a nutritionist with a background in Chinese medicine. I'm also the owner of Sexy Food Therapy. Thank you for being on my channel. Please make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so yet and hit that little bell button because that way you will be notified the next time I put out another video. So why did I get into hormones and why am I even qualified to talk about this? Well, the reality is that I'm 41 years old now, but back in my early 30s, I had a cyst that had ruptured and it tore off a piece of my right ovary. It caused me to hemorrhage internally. When they did a CAT scan, they didn't actually know that I had that was a cyst that ruptured and tore off my ovary. They just said, girl, they didn't say girl, but they said all we can see is blood. And we can't even see your kidneys. And right now we see blood and it's going up to your lung cavity. And we have to go in and operate. And we're going to bring in 4 of the best surgeons because we want to be able to see like what we're going to find out. Because it could be a perforated bowel for all we know, but you're hemorrhaging. So after about almost 2 hours in surgery, they had discovered that it was a cyst that had ruptured. It tore off a piece of my right ovary. They managed to salvage my right ovary. And they took out about over 2 liters of blood, which is crazy. And they stapled me up. I had 24 staples up. And it was pretty scary because I was in hospital for over a week. I had months of rehabilitation. I couldn't cough. I couldn't sneeze. Any of that was really difficult when your gut is cut open. My lungs collapsed in surgery as well. I had an epidural for the pain. I was more hooked up than a cardiac patient. It was pretty intense. And so that started off my hormonal journey and made me really darn dedicated to it. But it didn't stop there. Years later, I went back to the doctor and said, I'm having this really weird pain in my pelvic region. It sort of feels like a cyst, but it doesn't. Don't know what's going on. They gave me an ultrasound. And this was actually at the hospital. And I was really lucky because there was a technician that was still there. Usually they're not there at night. There was somebody still there. They did the ultrasound. The guy came back and said, we don't see anything. I'm like, okay, well, that was a just big waste of nothing. And he goes, do you want a copy of your ultrasound reports? Always get copies of your blood work and your ultrasound reports. Please, everybody's watching in. If there's one thing that you can take from this, please get copies of your blood work and your ultrasound reports. I did, stuffed the ultrasound report in my purse because I was so tired, went to bed that evening, woke up the next day. And as I'm stuck in traffic, I pulled out the ultrasound report, looked at it, and guess what? I have 2 fibroids, which they never told me. I only found out because I got a copy of the ultrasound report. So I actually found out by mistake. Then in 2017, fast forward, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's, an autoimmune thyroid condition, which, by the way, if any of you guys have thyroid issues, can you actually comment below and let me know? Anybody here with thyroid issues? And it was really crazy because at that time I was so fatigued and so stressed. I had made a lot of big life changes at that time. And I essentially found out I had Hashimoto's, which affects 97% of those with hypothyroidism. It's pretty crazy. So all of this made me so passionate to move forward. And the wonderful news is my thyroid nodules, which I discovered that I have a couple that are gone. I have actually 6. 2 nodules are gone. I have 3 fibroids. They first discovered 2, but then there was a third not too long after. When my last ultrasound reports, which I always share my updated reports, my last ultrasound report showed that my fibroids are shrinking, which is crazy. So when people say to me, like, oh, it's not possible, it is possible. And I absolutely think that you really just do have to commit and take things and put them as your arsenal. And essential oils are part of my arsenal and they are a part of my healing. And that's the reason why that I developed this live stream for you today to talk to you guys about this and how you can actually get these essential oils and how absolutely powerful. And on top of it all, when you end up getting these essential oils that I'm going to be chatting with you about today, you're also going to get a free consult with me where I'm going to detail out a 90-day plan with you. So if you guys have been watching my YouTube videos and you're like, oh, hell yes, I want to be able to like consult with you, I'm offering a free consult when you actually get this package. And it is so well worth it because there are bonuses, some of which get mailed to you. It's just a whole whack of stuff. So it's pretty awesome. Okay, so let's actually dive right into this because this presentation is going to be roughly about an hour to 75 minutes or so. And I think you guys are really going to dig it. So the first thing that I want to be able to go into is to kind of talk to you guys a little bit about essential oils, because there's a lot of misconception out there. And that is what makes them so darn potent. So let's kind of clarify this first. Essential oils are natural aromatic compounds, and they're found in plants. They come from seeds, barks, leaves, stems, roots, and flowers. And they're extracted and distilled for their very potent health benefits. And the reason why that I dig them so darn much is they're actually up to 70 times stronger than dried herb, and with multiple applications. So while the oils I'm going to be talking to you about today are really on my must-have list, I will also tell you that you can use them in so many other ways as well. And so that's the reason why I love them, because I never want you to end up having an essential oil graveyard. Like many of you guys probably have a supplement graveyard. Like, you know, you look at it and go, is this expired? Is it still good to take? So I just want to be able to mention that. But yes, up to 70 times stronger than dried herb. They work on a deep cellular level where our bodies actually don't end up developing a resistance. Now, the question is that why the heck are some of them so expensive? Well, a lot of oils on the market are adulterated, and you have to be really careful, because when you ingest essential oils, which you can ingest through inhalation, like you're taking them in, a lot of essential oils actually cross the blood-brain barrier. So just because you're trying to cut corners in price, you got to be really careful, because you could be compromising your health, and purity is everything in this business. When you factor in also, and I'm going to actually detail what this looks like, that essential oils are really, even the ones that you consider expensive, they're actually only pennies a drop. And really, when it comes to them, less is more. So a little bit really does go a long way. Now, the biggest question I get about them is, how can I safely take them? Well, you can inhale them by diffusing them. You can put them on topically. I put some on topically before this call. You can even take them internally, okay? With doTERRA, for example, there's actually 37 that are safe for internal use. And for internal use, you can actually, essentially, the therapeutics go beyond using them on a skin level, and they really can help to penetrate organs and cells. Now, obviously, you can cook with essential oils. A lot of people don't realize that, but I have some in the kitchen that I've used, like basil, cinnamon, cardamom. You can put them in your water. I always put essential oils in my water as well. You can also put them in a veggie cap. I actually have some veggie caps here as well for some of the ones that I don't think taste very good. But the biggest thing people ask me is, well, aren't they dangerous to actually ingest? Let me break this down for you, because I'm a massive research nerd. So I'm not just going to tell you, like, yeah, they're safe to ingest. I have always been that annoying kid that asks why. And I suggest that you be the same as a consumer. But for thousands of years, humans have ingested plants and extracts as herbal products and teas from leaves, flowers, which all, by the way, contain essential oils. So the teas that you drink, they have actually essential oils in them as they're natural compounds. So oils first have an effect on the local tissues, which can be felt more strongly when applied internally compared to when applied to the skin, because the nerves in the mucosa are closer to the surface, oftentimes more numerous, and can be easily stimulated compared to the nerves on the skin. Although the skin obviously is thicker and seems to be less fragile than the mucous membranes, the reality is that similar to the skin, the mucosa internally has many features that are protective and therefore conducive to the use of essential oils. When essential oils contact the mucosa, they're absorbed to some degree to the initial point of contact, but much of the oil will actually be continually diluted by the mucus. Rapid absorption and constant dilution allows the oils to have a dramatic yet temporary effect on the mouth or throat. We'll know this if you've ever had like oregano. Remember putting it in, you're like, whoa, right? Because it's a hot oil. Same thing with cinnamon. But because the mucosa is designed to be protective, Essential oils can be safely used internally. Still don't believe me? Well, believe it or not, if you actually look into PubMed.com, there are many, many, many studies that show that essential oils can have a positive effect when there's a problem with the stomach's mucous membranes. I know this because I use this clinically in practice. And one of the oils that I'm going to be talking to you about today is one that we use extensively in practice for hormonal conditions. Limonene, which is a constituent found in citrus oils, has been shown to have and help protect the stomach mucosa in a preclinical study. This protective effect has been shown without affecting normal gastric acid secretion, gastrin enzyme secretion, or even antioxidant glutathione production. Glutathione is like your master granddaddy, grandpoopa, liver detoxification antioxidant. So I want to state that because if you're ever worried about that, look it up. But the thing is, if you're going to Costco and you're getting these really crappy essential oils, which I've had women say, oh yeah, I got this essential oil, but I got it from Costco and it was so much cheaper. And I'm like, you pay for what you get. And honestly, do you really want to be consuming that if they they're adulterated is the word I'm looking for. Can you get anti-inflammatory gut support from oils? That is a great question. And yes, you can. In fact, I'm actually talking about one in particular today where we're going to chat about that. So why don't we dive into that? Because that's a great segue. So your gut is absolutely crucial to be a focus when you are trying to love up on your hormones. Like, it is crucial to love up on your gut. And the reason why is because you have a group of microbes in your gut called estrobolome. Say it with me now, guys. Estrobolome. Estrobolome. Now, estrobolome, this group of microbes, the job of estrobolome is to munch away on these nasty little estrogens that are supposed to be out of your body. But if your gut has more bad bacteria at the bacterial party than good, you probably don't have that much estrobolome. It's a fun word to say. So we have to make sure that we love up on our gut. And this is so crucial. So with that said, if we don't have a healthy gut microbiome, which encompasses that bacterial world in our gut, we're going to have poor hormones. That inflammation which is rooted in our gut is going to actually increase our cortisol levels. And cortisol is the hormone released in response to stress. It's going to increase that, number one. That's going to make you feel super stressed out. Have you ever been constipated or you didn't feel very well in your tummy and you felt like mentally not great? You maybe got anxious, maybe you felt depressed. Your gut is going to be affected by it, and so will your stress levels. And this is going to create a cascade of issues. And stress, which we're going to hear is going to be such a massive component to this entire picture, is affected by so many bodily conditions. But if you are chronically stressed, which some of you have said on this broadcast that you were, the problem is that chronically elevated stress level will then end up consuming your progesterone. And progesterone is that hormone that makes you feel good and nourished. You don't want to have a progesterone loss because it ends up depleting as we age anyway. So why expedite that process? That's when your periods are going to be terrible. That's when you're going to see fibroids. Believe it or not, ladies, 70% of you will end up discovering that you have a fibroid by the time that you are 50 years old. 70%. These are benign uterine tumors, if you want a definition there. If you are a Black female, that statistic actually jumps up to 80%. So this is actually quite incredible to see these statistics. And these are estrogen-related conditions where progesterone, we cannot have a progesterone loss because progesterone anchors estrogen. If we have a progesterone loss, there's nothing to anchor it. Estrogen becomes high by comparison. That's a no bueno. Bad news bears. But one of the ways to love it is to love our gut. So one of the essential oils that I absolutely love for the gut is lemongrass. I freaking love this stuff. Okay. Now, the reason why that I absolutely love lemongrass, number one, it's a very affordable essential oil. I think it should be in everyone's cabinet for a multitude of reasons. Number one, let's talk about why this is good for your hormones. Because it's good for the gut. This is actually one of the essential oils that is highly studied on PubMed. Just put in lemongrass in PubMed and you will find, as in lemongrass essential oil in PubMed, and you're going to be all these search results for the gut. And the reason why, there are a lot of studies to show that it actually helps to fight off H. pylori, which is also known as Helicobacter pylori. This is a common gut infection that I see in women with fibroids, PCOS, Hashimoto's. It's a big one. I have Hashimoto's, and I had H. pylori, of which I eradicated. Side note, this was a part of my protocol. So I run an online clinic where I employ practitioners, functional practitioners. We use essential oils as part of our protocols. Believe it or not, doTERRA is one of the only companies in the world that actually has opened up right now. I believe it's 2 or 3 clinics in the United States where they have hospitals that are actually adding essential oils as part of their protocols. So they're not just smelly little bottles of oils. So lemongrass is very, very, very amazing for H. pylori. Now you might be like, but I don't have H. pylori. Here's the thing I want you to understand. 2/3 of the world's population has H. pylori. 2/3. And it's highly contagious via saliva. So when I discovered I had it, naturally, I tested my husband. Now, I run a hormone membership program called Sexy Lady Balls. And I will tell you that in Sexy Lady Balls, we do gut testing. And that was the way that I discovered that not only did I have it, but so did my husband. Who gave it first? I have no idea who had it first. But whatever the case was, I eradicated it with a protocol, but this was absolutely a part of it. But the other thing about lemongrass, and I don't want you to be like, oh, I'm going to just guess that I have H. pylori. The wonderful thing about H. pylori is that it's amazing as an anti-inflammatory. So somebody asked about, like, can they be an anti-inflammatory? Yes, it absolutely can. And so if you have health problems like arthritis, very much a gut issue, any sort of hormonal issues, because hormonal issues are rooted in inflammation. Lemongrass contains a constituent, not only limonene, but also citrol, which is an anti-inflammatory compound. And limonene is a constituent that actually helps you detox the liver. We're going to talk about that in just a bit. Lemongrass essential oil, the other amazing things is it was shown in studies to help reduce blood sugar. So those of you who struggle with food cravings and you're like, oh, I'm really struggling with it, lemongrass essential oil is amazing. Now, this is not one that I like to use in my water. This is one that I'll put in a veggie cap, okay? But I love this so freaking much. Now, one of the things that I will absolutely do for those of you guys who end up getting the kit that I'm going to be talking about today, I'm going to give you a protocol on how to use these oils as a bonus. You have everything laid out. So if you're scrambling to write all this stuff down tonight, don't worry about it. When you get the kit, you will end up getting an entire protocol as a bonus. Cynthia asks, how long does it take for the hormones to balance for someone that has PCOS? It depends. What type of PCOS do you have? Because there's different types. And really, like, what's the severity of it? Like, everyone is going to heal at a different rate. It also depends on how full in are you. If you're kind of half-assing your healing, well, you're going to get half-assing results. So it really depends. Teen asks a really good question. How can you take them in combination with thyroid meds? Great question. I'm on desiccated thyroid hormone. And with thyroid meds, you really want to make sure that you avoid taking anything within an hour from the time. So otherwise, I do take this. And I can give you guys the protocol for this, but I end up taking this, about 2 drops of this, and I'll take it once a day away from food. If you feel that you need to take it with food, that's also totally fine. Generally, I will start away from food. If you get any it feels a little bit of repeat coming on, you can take it with food. It's not a big deal. So that is oil number 1, and it is powerful, powerful, powerful. The other uses for lemongrass are numerous. If you actually diffuse this stuff, it is an antibacterial like no other, especially after you've cleaned the home. You can use it in your cleaning as well. essential oils aren't about trying to get you to spend more money. It's about actually helping you to replace some of the things that you're doing so that you can save money. So I end up diffusing this because I think it's amazing as a part of this. I've even made a furniture polish that has lemongrass, and it really has an amazing anti-inflammatory, or sorry, antibacterial effect. The next one that I want to be able to talk about in regards to the gut is turmeric. Now, I actually don't have these turmeric capsules with me because I ran out. So I wish I had them, but I'm going to actually tell you about why the turmeric dual chamber capsules are my favorite from doTERRA. So their turmeric dual chamber capsules have a combination of two things, and no one else on the market does this. Number one, it has curcumin in the powdered turmeric. That's number one. Now, we all have heard of curcumin, and curcumin is very hard to be absorbed. It's the reason why in supplements you'll see it absorbed with black pepper, because black pepper contains piperine, which makes pepper pungent, but it also helps to increase the bioavailability of curcumin. So doTERRA decided, well, let's test to see if we actually combined the turmeric powder, which has curcumin in it, with the turmeric essential oil, which doesn't have curcumin in it. It has turmerones in it. So when they combined this curcumin and turmerones together, the bioavailability of both the turmerones, which has the anti-inflammatory effect, as does the curcumin, was tenfold of that of the other competitors on the market, whether it was nanotechnology, piperine extract, any of it. It knocked it out of the park. Now, I still do give turmeric essential oil to my people, but I love the turmeric dual chamber capsules. They are absolutely phenomenal. So it's one of the things that I use. Now, the reason why that I'm saying that this is a part of my must-have kit is because turmeric, if you didn't know this already, it is one of the most anti-inflammatory components you possibly could get. Now, if you have Hashimoto's, the one thing that you have to understand is that you can't suppress or stimulate the immune system. You generally need immune modulators. And frankincense really doesn't stimulate or suppress the immune system. It has a modulatory effect. But turmeric. But turmeric is so freaking amazing at that, in the sense that it is such a powerful anti-inflammatory. So if you have PCOS, if you have fibroids, if you have fibrocystic changes to the breasts, if you've been told, if you're one of the 90 million Americans that has non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, turmeric is freaking amazing for that because it actually aids the liver substantially. So how about consuming fresh turmeric? You can, but the idea is that when you actually have when they combined it with the turmerones in it, which is the reason why these dual chamber capsules are so powerful, the bioavailability of it knocks out of the park of you just consuming fresh turmeric with a black pepper. So this is huge. So these are some of the things that I want to be able to state to you. So really great as a liver detoxifier. Really amazing for that anti-inflammatory gut support. This is something I take every day, which is the reason why I don't have it, because I literally ran out of it. But as somebody who has fibroids that are shrinking, nodules, 2 of which were gone from my last ultrasound, all these things are amazing. So I do want to be able to remind those who are listening in, like Dana says, do you know if your consultations would be covered by health insurance? Well, guess what? If you end up getting the package that I'm talking to you about today, you're going to get a free consult with me. So you don't have to worry about that. Okay. And this one, I can review any testing that you've had prior that you want me to take a look at. I'm happy to do it. We spend that hour how you want to spend it. So that is the gut and the liver anti-inflammatory support. But I can't stop there because the gut is so important. Remember I was telling you a little bit about immune modulation? Well, frankincense is absolutely powerful for that. Believe it or not, frankincense is known as the king of oils. Every single time that I talk to people, like I have like my group of women who are like just essential oil obsessed. And when I say frankincense, they're like, ooh, because frankincense is a really revered essential oil. This is one of those must-have essential oils, especially for hormones. The reason why it decreases cortisol. So the amount of you that said, like any of you guys feeling stressed, I know that some of you guys popped in live a little bit late. If you are stressed, write in the comments below that you're stressed. Because if that's you, if you have poor concentration, if you're stressed, if you got to make lists, because if you don't, you're going to forget everything. If you have anxiety, mood swings, any of those things, comment below and let me know, because frankincense is that oil. So frankincense has this really amazing calming ability. It's obviously, I think of like the holidays with it. The Three Wise Kings. Is it Three Wise Kings? I think so. But it's a massive anti-inflammatory. But it's an immune modulator, and it's probably one of the most powerful immune modulators. So if you have an autoimmune thyroid condition, for example, this is the oil that you want to take. But if you're not feeling comfortable taking it internally, you can also diffuse frankincense. Now, this is one of those oils that actually crosses the blood-brain barrier, like turmeric does. Turmeric, one of the things I didn't mention about turmeric that I just want to be able to say real darn quick is turmeric increases something called BDNF, which is a brain nootropic factor. And it's so freaking powerful because we need, if you've got depression, you're struggling with hormonal conditions, there's a lot of mood stuff going on, stress, depression, anxiety, turmeric, frankincense, these are the actual magics. And this is the reason why it is a part of my must-haves. So my must-have oils, the base package, are 5 products. So we've gone through lemongrass, turmeric dual chamber capsules, and now we're talking a little bit about frankincense. The other thing about frankincense that a lot of people don't realize is that it balances hormone levels through the regulation of estrogen production, and it's a vital, vital, vital process that helps to regulate the skin's hormones and the formation of cysts, tumors, nodules. It also helps to improve the gut function because it's a potent anti-inflammatory. Now, I talk about frankincense with so much love because not only do I love using frankincense as part of it, but, and simply me, Laura D, how do you take it internally? Written all with caps. I see it. So you can take it internally by literally getting a veggie cap, and we will give you the option if you want to add these. This is like 180 veggie caps. It's like $4 or $5. It's really cheap. But essentially what I would do is I'd open up the veggie cap and I would literally put 1, 2. That's it. With essential oils, less is more. Okay. And do I have any water here? Of course I don't. I would take this internally. I'm not going to take it right now just because of the fact I have no water beside me, which is crazy. But I would take it internally. And the reason why this may actually start to break down because essential oils will start to eat away at the capsule. But like literally that's all you need. And I would just take it 2 drops internally and that's it. But simply me, Laura D, you probably missed this, but what I said is if you end up getting the oils that I'm talking about this evening, you're going to get a whole protocol with it as well. Okay. So I promise you that would be it. So it's doTERRA turmeric that you are taking. Yes, Sarah or Ciara, I think you pronounce your name. You probably missed what I said, but yes, the doTERRA turmeric essential oil dual chamber capsules includes the botanical turmeric and the essential oil. So you get the curcumin, but you also get the turmerones, which enhances the bioavailability of it. Okay? So I just want to be able to state that because you probably missed that when I was talking about that. So I love frankincense because it is like amazing for stress, depression, concentration. It's also known as boswellia. Okay, so it is the essential oil that people use for concentration. Really good as we get older and we're trying to create all the lists for all the things. Okay, so we've gone through those. Now, one of the things that we haven't spoken about that is actually really, really important to talk about when it comes to hormones is the lymphatic system. Many people don't really realize how it works, but the lymphatic system is a separate circulatory system that interfaces with the blood vessels to carry away fluid and waste and from the interstitial space and the extracellular matrix, okay? The lymph system plays a prominent role in your immune function. And you might be like, I have no idea how this works with hormones. Stay with me. But as this fluid carries things like lymphocytes, dendrite cells, immunoglobulins, it fights off pathogens so that the body stays protected from infections. But the other thing is that the lymphatic system helps with the absorption and the transport of free fatty acids from the digestive system. Now, you might still be confused and go, I still have no idea what this has to do with hormones. Well, the health of a woman's lymphatic system, which, by the way, does not move unless you move, okay? So that's why, rebounding and getting in exercise is really helpful, because the lymphatic system doesn't move on its own. But it really has a direct impact on her ability to move progesterone around the body. That might not seem as exciting to you as it is to me, because I love this shit, but progesterone is so fucking critical to the female hormonal balance system. Because when we have low progesterone, signs of that are we feel weepy, we feel sad, we get the progesterone blues, we start to bleed heavier, we start to potentially spot in between our periods, we get fibroids, we get higher chances of PCOS, we end up having really painful PMS, PMDD, ovarian cysts, endometriosis. All of these things are exacerbated because progesterone is low. So the lymphatic system is really important because it allows the movement of progesterone along the body. It is so critical that our lymphatic system is moving freely, because it's this delivery system for progesterone to balance out estrogen. So the presence of this lipophilic, this fat-loving progesterone in the lymphatic system also, side note, stimulates bile acid secretion. Why should you give a shit about that? Well, you should. Because believe it or not, how many of you guys no longer have a gallbladder? This is actually really, really, really common. Okay? Really, really, really common. Women after they give birth, do you know how many women after they give birth end up getting their gallbladders removed? They get a gallbladder attack, and you know it because you get in the back around your shoulder blades. You get your gallbladder removed. The reason why is because after you give birth, your progesterone levels drop. Now your estrogen doesn't have an anchor. When we have higher levels of estrogen, guess what happens? Your bile becomes thicker because you end up getting more cholesterol deposits in your bile. Why does this matter? Because you need bile to flow smoothly. Bile ends up carrying out toxins and excess hormones that gotta get the heck out of Dodge. But that can't happen if bile is thick and sludgy. Think about I know this is a really bad analogy, but bear with me. Think about like a sewer. Okay, it's thick, it's sludgy, all this crap's coming. It's not eliminating, right? Because it's all thick, it's flowing smoothly. But if that river is flowing fast, it'll deposit in the poop, and then you can poop it out. But the problem is, a lot of women, their bile support is really not that great. Okay, so it is important that we move the lymphatic system, because when we do, what ends up happening is that presence of that lipophilic, the fat-loving progesterone in the lymphatic system, stimulates bile acid secretion. It stimulates this bile to flow. That's wild. And this helps the body mitigate many of the effects of estrogen excess, because when our bile is thick, guess what happens? Stuff doesn't get eliminated. And why does that matter? Because then that excess, those estrogens that are supposed to be in your poo for you to poop out, recirculates in the body. So what do you do? Well, I have a really great thing to tell you. That is not, this is one of my must-haves. This is my second favorite. I can't say it's my second favorite. They're all really great. But I've literally chosen my 5 favorites, okay? Okay, are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, let's do this. All right. How many of you guys have this? It's a dry skin brush. You can also just get a loofah, okay? Not a big deal. Keep it simple, all right? You get one of these. Before you get into the shower, you're going to move your lymph. And guess what? This is also going to help to wake your ass up. All right? Who here is kind of slow to start in the morning? I am. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a loofah. We're going to get a dry skin brush. You can get these on Amazon, or you can just get a loofah. Keep it simple, okay? Or at your health food store or pharmacy. So I have Cypress. This is my other favorite, Cypress essential oil. We use this a lot in Chinese medicine. This is the mover. That's all you need to know about Cypress. I'll tell you more about it. But if there's one thing you got to remember, it's a mover, because this helps to move the lymphatic system. So to answer to your question, Perla, it helps to move the lymphatic system. I'll give you some more uses. So I'm just going to put about 2 drops. A third one slipped out. Now, you're going to get this. Okay, you're going to see my green cords here for a sec. But what you always want to do when you're doing this, you always want to go towards the heart. So if you're going up from the legs, you're going to go up. If you're never going to do the face because your skin's very sensitive here, but you can do your neck lightly, okay, because you got the lymph there. And now you can either do little small circles going downwards. I kind of just do this little brushing action. So if I go for my hand, I'm going to go towards my heart, okay? I do this every morning before my shower. This actually helps to move the lymph. Now you're going to do this obviously where your lymph nodes are, which are in your armpits, here, in your crotch area. So you want to really make sure that you're really focusing on that. Get those little bits, ladies, of the cellulite, because guess what? Cypress is also amazing, and skin brushing is also amazing for helping to reduce the appearance of cellulite. How freaking amazing is that? So I love this. Cypress, oh my God. Ruffle Dove asks a great question. What about ginger for the lymphatic system? I have lymphedema and have read it helps. Ginger does help. Cypress, you need to add Cypress. Anyone here who have varicose veins or really sore, swollen feet at the end of the day, Cypress, Cypress, Cypress. It is the mover. But I can't imagine having a hormone balancing kit not including this. Like, it has to be in there because the lymphatic system is never spoken about, and it's so important. Even do your breast area as well, okay? You really want to get all of this done. Now, you can absolutely get a dry washcloth and put some on the dry washcloth and even do lightly on your face as well, okay? Especially getting around here, all those areas, but it helps so much. Also, you're going to notice your skin is going to be smoother than ever before. Believe it or not, we are supposed to eliminate 1 pound of waste through our skin a day. I say this because if your elimination doors aren't open, the lymphatic system being one of them, there's no fucking way you can expect that your hormones are going to thrive. Your hormones, when they're out of balance, you want to know what happens? It's like a bunch of guys playing football. You know, they all like tackle each other, and it's like all the dudes are on top of one another. That's what it's like to have your hormones all messed up. The idea is we're trying to remove these offenders. That's why we talk about the gut. It's why we talk about the liver. It's why we talk about things for stress. It's why we talk about the lymphatic system as well. It's why I tell you guys to go and get your sleep. So important. But this is fucking crucial. And I was like, Cypress, it's so good. Like, I'm so obsessed with this essential oil for so many reasons. But like I said to you guys on the top of this live stream, essential oils are 70 times stronger than dried herb, and they have multiple applications. So you're crazy. You're crazy not to actually incorporate these in your world, okay? So we have gone through almost all of them. We've gone through lemongrass, turmeric dual chamber capsules, frankincense, cypress. Last but not least, my husband looked at me like I was crazy when I said this, but I said the one essential oil blend that every woman needs with a vagina. And he went, I'm like, in other words, every woman needs it. Claricon. I can't tell you how much I love this shit. I can't tell you how much I love this shit. Like, even if you are in menopause, this is absolutely incredible. And I'll tell you why. So if you've got menstrual cramps, if you have fibroids, if you have PCOS, endometriosis, any of those conditions, yeah, Darlena says, Claricon, it's fucking incredible. If you get what's called middle schmerz, which is pain mid-cycle, this is when you're not getting your period. This is when you don't have your period yet, but all of a sudden you get like pain, girl, if you don't have this, this had to be a part of my whole makeup. Now, I freaking love this. It's so good because it's a hormone regulator. It has Vitex in it as well, but it has oils in it specifically to really help to balance out hormones, estrogen and progesterone. It has essential oils in here that also really help to calm the nervous system, decrease cortisol production as well. Because remember, cortisol out of whack munches away at progesterone. We don't want that. So even I've seen a lot of women not just put this on their pelvic region, which I've had middle schmerz. Some women can actually feel middle schmerz. It's like a German word, middle schmerz. You say it like that, middle schmerz. Means pain in the middle, essentially. But you just rub it on your pelvic region. If you want it nice and cool, you can throw it into the fridge and you can rub it on. I've even had women who've actually put it on their neck and on their chest, because it's so common. Even if you've had a hysterectomy, I can tell you this is still really potent because it's so calming. Remember, these oils help to balance out estrogen and progesterone and help to shunt cortisol. So it's a powerful fucking combination. I can't work out because it makes my insomnia worse. That's crazy. So the thing is you want to do is you want to mitigate a lot of that adrenal stress. Claricalm is amazing for the nervous system, amazing for adrenals. So people talk about it a lot for like cramps and pain. It is the pain reliever. I can't tell you how many times, like this bottle probably has lasted me about 2 or 3 months. Women will ask me, well, how often do I use it? I always say to women, like, use it when you're getting pain, but also don't be discouraged and don't just use it for pain. If you're feeling like I'm really stressed out, you can go to this. But with that said, I want to be able to share with you that even though, so we are going to kind of like go really quickly here. We talked about lemongrass, turmeric dual chamber capsules that incorporates the curcumin, the botanical turmeric, and the turmerones, which has the highest and most potent form of anti-inflammatory bioavailability. We talked about Cypress, which stimulates the flow of the lymphatic system that allows progesterone to flow more freely. It also increases the lymphatic system, which helps to also with autoimmune conditions. It protects the breast tissue as well. We talked about frankincense being the king of all oils, and we talked about Claricalm. So those are 5. Oh, and lemongrass. I think I mentioned that one. Those are 5 essential oils that we spoke about there, okay? Because these are absolutely my must-haves. So I'm just going to actually throw this down really quickly in our comments so that you guys have this. So Jenna has a really great question. So avoid blends that have fennel if you have endo. So here is the thing to understand. Fennel is a phytoestrogen, but you have to understand it has to be the blend, the right combination. I've used Claricalm in practice where I have an estrogen dominant condition, and I've actually seen my fibroids shrink, and I use Claricalm every month. So it really depends on the combinations. It's a really good point, but it's great. I'm taking this birth control that does not let me menstruate. Can I still take the Claricalm for hormones? 1,000%. 1,000%, because when you take birth control pills, by the way, you are actually not ovulating. And of course not, because the body doesn't want you to ovulate because it doesn't want you to get pregnant. So you're not creating progesterone. So actually taking that would be amazing. So I'm actually just going to write these details in here. So hopefully this works here. Must-haves. Okay, so I'm just going to write this. Do this in 2 parts here. All right. So I just put this here. You wouldn't rub it on your vajayjay. You would rub it on your abdomen. Okay, so your pelvic region. That's where you would put it. So I just put, if you guys end up wanting to get these five oils that I talked about this evening, that's the link that you would get it. And as I mentioned, when you get this formula, I'm not only going to email you, and this is one of the things, I'm not only going to email you the protocol on how to use all of these, but you're also going to end up getting a free wellness consult with me where I'm going to detail out the next 90 days. That's going to be pretty potent given that the New Year's is coming up. So you're going to start off the new year right. But like literally for the cost of these, which comes out to $191, That's nothing when you're getting the oils, you're getting a free consult, and you're getting literally $400 in bonuses, which I'm going to kind of break down what those are. Number one, you're going to get mailed to you my Makeover My Medicine cabinet. Okay. You're also going to get a pamphlet that is my essential oil quick reference guide. Those two things are going to get mailed to you. The other thing you're going to get is you're going to get from an email perspective, you're going to get my mini recipe book. Okay, that's going to get emailed to you. That's going to have some recipes on how to include essential oils in your recipes. You are also going to receive that detailed 30-day plan on how to actually use these oils that I talked about and how else to use them outside of what we spoke about. You're also going to get access to my private Facebook group where I talk about all the functional healing benefits of essential oils. If you love this call, you're going to love that. Plus, you're going to get 25% off your order and 25% off for the next 365 days. That's a $35 value. You're also going to get that free wellness consult with me where I'm going to detail out a 90-day plan. Those bonuses are literally worth about a combined value of $400. And you're going to get all of that for next to nothing. So here's the thing I want to break down to you just so that you have an idea of what these look like. So Cypress, let's talk about this. The retail price for Cypress is $20.67. The retail price of the turmeric dual chamber capsules is $49.33. Lemongrass, by the way, is $14.13. Frankincense is $96 retail. Clarycom is $38. The wholesale membership is $35. Now, if you couldn't remember all those numbers, don't worry about it because the total for all of that would have been $253.13. Plus $400 in bonuses, it would come out to about $653.13. Now you might be like, oh, that's a lot. It is, but you're not going to pay for any of that. You're going to pay $191 for all of that. So you're not going to pay $653.13. You're going to pay $191 and get $400 worth in bonuses when you end up clicking the link that I put in the comments box. So for a total value of $650-ish, you're going to get it all for $191. Now, many of you guys might be listening to this going, ugh, but it's so expensive, Melissa. Let's break this down a bit further because I like to break this down. Cypress is 8 cents a drop. Remember, less is more. You only need a couple of drops. Turmeric caps, each cap, because it's a 30 serving bottle, is $1.64. Lemongrass, remember I told you it's pretty inexpensive, is 6 pennies, 6 cents for lemongrass per drop. Frankincense is only 38 cents a drop. Clarycom, because it's a roller, it's roughly about 30 cents per application when I broke it down to about like 3 months of how often this actually lasts me, okay? And then you get that 25% off for the entire year, okay? So that's actually pretty good. Simply Me Laura D asks a great question. All these bottles of oils are 15 mils, which means that for every single 15 mil bottle, it's 250 drops per bottle. And that's how I've actually been able to give you guys the math. When you're like, wow, that's so expensive. You're getting $650 worth of value for $191. Plus you're getting $400 worth in bonuses. That includes a session, a free session with me. So that's why I'm bringing this up, because if you've ever wanted to be able to work with me, if you've seen my videos on YouTube, if you've followed my work, maybe this is your first introduction to me. Hey, hopefully you've liked this video, but I want to be able to chat with you about this because it's so important for you guys to get off on the right track. Now, I do want to be able to state one thing here and remind you that oils are 70 times stronger than dried herb, and there's multiple applications. So they're technically less expensive than herbs because they have so many applications. Now, the one thing that I do want to be able to tell you guys about is I do have 2 bonus oils. I can't not talk to you about these oils because these oils have they've literally changed my world in a really big way because I've struggled with anxiety and obsession. And anybody here, anxiety, obsession, insomnia? So, Devanji says, want to order it, but will it help my insomnia? So yeah, then you're going to want to get the bonus oils. But the Clarycom actually helps quite a bit as a sedative effect. So anybody here struggle with fear? A lot of fear, anxiety, you worry a lot, you obsess, you ruminate. If you do, comment below right now and let me know, okay? Because I want to share with you 2 oils that are absolute fucking must-haves. The first one is vetiver. Have any of you guys ever heard vetiver? So this is actually used a lot in Ayurvedic medicine. They have these 3 doshas, Pitta, Vata, Kapha, and they're based on the elements. So Pitta is fire, Kapha is water, Vata is air. If your Vata is out of balance, you're going to ruminate a lot. You're going to get obsessy. You're going to maybe have some anxiety. You're going to feel really nervous. You might have insomnia. Vetiver helps to calm that Vata. It helps to calm with the nervous system. I like to diffuse this. I also really like to actually add this to the soles of my feet with a carrier oil, whether it's like coconut oil or even olive oil if you want to keep it simple, or jojoba or almond oil. It also is really great for insomnia as well. Very, very, very grounding. Very, very, very grounding. So I absolutely love it. Okay. So this is one of the things that I will say that I absolutely adore. Okay. So this is one of the oils for in our, I'm just going to remove one of these comments here because I was waiting for spam to come up. So vetiver is one of them. The other one that I absolutely adore, so this is my anxiety and obsession dynamic duo of oils. So the next one, I love this oil so much. You ready? Douglas fir. This is a 5 ml bottle. Don't let the little size fool you. Remember, less is more. Less truly is more. You diffuse this. I put, the way that I like to use this, have you ever had those feelings where you feel, who the hell am I to have this? Who the hell am I to think that I'm good enough? Who am I to have any of this? Anxiety, like massive anxiety, any of that? Douglas fir. The tree oils are very powerful. They're very grounding. When you have anxiety, when you have depression, when you have like really ruminating thoughts where they spiral out of control, but fear. The other thing is any ancestral trauma, family trauma in your background, Douglas fir is the oil. So usually I'll have like a carrier oil, like, you know, an olive oil. I literally, the way that I like to use this is I just put this on my chest here. It is so grounding, but I put this, and I like to also put this on my feet, the soles of my feet, because it helps to ground. Anytime that I have one of those feelings of, who the hell do I think I am to want this? Who do I think I am to have this? Douglas fir is so freaking powerful for any trauma that you've ever struggled with, any fear, anxiety. This is the oil that you will want. But that, you can diffuse this if you wanted to, but I like to add this to the soles of my feet, or I just put it right here and diffuse it. I feel like that girl from like Superbad. Anyway, for insomnia, you want vetiver. You can diffuse it for insomnia, but remember, Empowered April or anybody else who's watching this, if you're like, I can't remember how to use these oils, when you get this package, I will email you a protocol how to use them, okay? Because I want you to be empowered, but you're not even going to learn how to use it for your hormones, like what this entire call has been about, but you're also going to learn all those many other multiple applications, plus we're going to connect. And that to me is one of the most powerful and best parts of my job is I love connecting with people. And I would be so honored to be able to connect with you guys. So if you want to get this little bonus trio of these 2 oils here, the additional on these 2 would be $61. Okay. So you can either get those base 5 oils with $400 worth of bonuses at 25% off for $191. Remember that total value was like over $650. You can get it for $191. If you want to add these 2, it's an additional $61. Okay. But it's up to you. You don't have to get the bonus oils if you don't want to. But if you really want to be, if you're like really struggling with anxiety, insomnia, obsession, worry, I can't speak highly enough about these oils. And we do give you the option if you want to add veggie caps for like $5, you can. So again, if you didn't see that link that I posted earlier, I will post it here again. And if you take these oils and you're like, you're like, I'm just not satisfied with this at all, you can get your money back. It's a 30-day guarantee. doTERRA will refund you your money, which is freaking amazing. So literally you can get the whole 5 base oils for $191, which is amazing. And that's obviously, you have to add tax and shipping on top of it. Okay. And you can get you get those $400 in free bonuses. If you want to add these on, it's an additional $61. Okay. I personally think it's well worth it, but it's totally up to you. But it's a 30-day money back guarantee. And I will tell you, if you're not using essential oils as part of your hormonal healing, you're missing a huge piece because they're so powerful, especially if you struggle with like stress, anxiety, depression, insomnia. I honestly, as an entrepreneur, where like life is like this, it's really hard. So can you purchase this hormone bundle at any time? Right now, I'm honoring the bonuses, but you have to get it within literally this session that we're talking. I'll actually even honor it for people who are watching in right now on the replay, but I really want to make sure that if you're going to get on this, that you have to get this within the next 24 to 48 hours. Okay, so we're doing this live stream on Tuesday, November 26th. So literally by like, let's just say if this is not all filled out by like Thursday morning, which is actually less than 48 hours, then it's gone. I want people to like, if you are literally getting the opportunity to get $650 worth of value for $191, that includes a session with me, all these bonuses, and you're sitting on the fence, it might not be for you. So if you're all in and you want to be able to connect with me, I would so love that. I would love that opportunity. So anyways, guys, that is your opportunity that you can get this now by Thursday morning. And I hope that you guys can join. And I hope I get to be able to actually meet with you guys on Zoom and chat with you and see your beautiful faces and connect with you guys, because I love really the support that you guys have given me here on my YouTube channel. If you haven't done so already, please make sure that you subscribe, hit the little bell as well to get the notifications. I would super appreciate your support. All right, guys, thank you so much. I love you all so much. All right, guys, go click that link and grab it and let's connect. Okay, bye.